Hey, what's up guys? I got Tatu and I got Sath. So, I didn't really want to make this because I didn't think it would be better than my original teams, but some people were like, oh, you're gonna try it, are you gonna try it? I want to see like the difference between if you make this team and what it can be with like your old teams. What is better? I finally made them. So throughout the next days, what I will do is I compare each of the dot teams towards my own teams with like the different dungeons, and I will try some variations. Just like you guys know me, I go like crazy on like trying weird shit with like crazy runes and that kind of stuff. So this is the most standard team that I have seen. Quickly showing the runes, you do not need a Lucian like this deal. I have seen, like I did one run of 10. A really good thing for this dungeon in this way is if your Lucian laps the enemies twice. So that he actually has a chance to do a second amputation magic if he didn't in the first rotation. Which needs about like, with max speed tower, about like a plus 100 to 102 or something. It is easy to put in like a lot of fight sets. I put on Sath on Vio fight at the moment, max Eki. I got the Mellias for fight plus double will. I kind of noticed that I don't really need the double will that much. Again, fight double will. And then I got the Tatu on a broken fight set. Wait, okay, I gotta fix this. Not that I really need the fight sets, because this team actually, like, if your Lucian is not good enough, yes, you need the fight set, but otherwise you do not need those fight sets as much. Okay, that's fixed. So I don't need like any more stats. You just need the Eki, a little bit tankiness, that kind of stuff. It's pretty easy to rune up. So for my case, I felt like it was too easy, so I didn't want to make it. But okay, so what is the team we're competing against? We are competing against the normal, what I used with this, this, and this. This team, fastest time, 25 seconds. Average really depends on like if Lucian does his third skill and Crow does his third skill at the right time, that kind of jazz. But it averages between like 37 and 42 seconds per 10. So like every run in 10 is like between the 37 and 42 second average. So that's kind of what we're competing with. There is a pretty wide range in this team because too much like derp potential. However, this team will also have a lot of derp potential. So preferably you would test it like for 100 runs and you have like 100 runs average. I think that's a little bit too much to go for. So let's say pure average of the other team is about 40 seconds. So I gotta beat 40 seconds average for this team to be better. So I'm gonna start a run of 10 and we're just gonna go, like we're gonna look at the first few runs and then I'm gonna skip forward to like the best or like the average of 10, that kind of stuff. And let's just see how far we get. So we need 5 dots to actually kill this boss. It sometimes happens that the Mellia just like land one debuff and then it's pretty bad. So far so good, perfect AI. We do get extra procs on that one. It's unnecessary in this case if everything goes perfect AI. So this run is pretty much, we start off with a perfect AI run. The procs of Sath were not needed. We get a best new time. If Sath didn't proc, we get faster time. This is not how it's gonna run always. So please keep that in mind. It's not always gonna run like this. Sure, like this is what normally happens. So you gotta keep that in mind. Sure, you still kind of kill it there. Amputation magic is kind of wasted, but okay. Also, the set does not always land a dot. If the set does not land a dot, you get more issues of actually killing this whole thing, which is pretty bad. So for side stats on these units, you mostly want to go tanky, because if things go down the drain, it's best if you can like survive a hit, 1 or 2 or 3. I actually already did one run of this before, which ended in 43 second average. So little spoiler there, but let's see what this actually does, because these runs are really fast, but they're really high on the derp potential. If like one dot misses, then the Lucian is gonna amputation magic on the second wave, which you don't want, and that kind of stuff. So it is possible for the Mellias here to actually land one debuff instead of 2. So if they go for 5, it's good. If they go for 4, it's not good, because then Lucian might amputation magic on the wrong spot. So there are a few other units that might fix that kind of scenario, but so far so good. So we're gonna see. I think I'm gonna do like 3 runs of 10 and we're gonna see the new best time. We're gonna see like how far this is actually gonna drag. So far so good, and this team is insanely easy to run. It's that easy to run that I'm even gonna use it on my alt. So see ya when the runs are done. Okay, so we're done with the first 10. Let's see what we got. 41-second average. So despite having a new fastest time, the average was actually not that crazy. So we had a whole bunch of runs which were like 59, 57. We had a bunch of like slow ass runs, 58 over there, 57, 59. So this team is highly derp potential. So I'm gonna do one more run. I'm gonna do one more run in exactly the same rune setup, and then I'm gonna switch the Mellias to Violent as well and see if that's better for more consistent runs. So we're back at another 10, and we got 45-second average, which is not that great. So, well, it's pretty fast, but it's not really what I'm looking for since it's not exceeding the speed of my other team. And we got a bunch of like 50-second runs, which are pretty bad. So, a few things I want to talk about. First, I talked with a friend for a sec, and he was like, okay, why are these units Vio and these not? So what's my idea behind it? So what's the idea behind my units that are on Vio? Seth, I want to have Vio because if the Mellias do not have a dot on the unit already, they will only provide one dot. So you want to have one dot before Mellia moves, pretty much. Also, if there's not 5 dots, you're not gonna kill middle boss, you're not gonna kill the last boss. Issues with that is that the run takes longer, Lucian might amputation magic on wave 2, which you don't want, and that kind of stuff. The thing is, hitting 5 debuffs means that Seth actually has to use his S2, land a debuff from this one, then you have 2, and then the other one, so you have 6. But it's more common that Seth only lands 1 debuff because of lancing and that kind of stuff. Then the Mellia have both, they have 2 resistance checks. So if you multiply the 15% of resistance times 4, there is actually a big chance that you will not land all of them. Same as like Guardian S3. At some point, you're always gonna miss 1 or 2 or maybe more. So for a consistent run, you want to lower down those numbers. So how can you lower down those numbers? Well, putting Sath on Vio would give more chance to actually land the initial dot. I noticed that I don't really need the Mellia on Will, so I'm gonna switch those to Violent, and I'm gonna do another 2 runs. And Tatu is Violent because that gives a bigger chance to S3. Actually, the Tatu AI, I heard some people really complain about it. I feel like it's not that bad as long as there's enough dots. I feel like she's doing her S3. She's not doing her S3 if there's not that many dots, but that's how I feel like right now. So I'm gonna switch it up to Violent, gonna do 2 more runs of 10, and then I'm gonna switch up the team to some other compositions that I think might work better than this. So currently all 4 dot units are fight plus Violent. So currently all 4 dot units Vio fight, Vio fight, Vio fight, and Vio fight. So let's actually see if this improves anything of the time. So see you in 10. So we're back. This actually did improve the time of average by some, but still it's a small sample size. Remember that. So the thing is, people are gonna be like, oh, my team actually running like 25-second average. It is possible, but the sample size of 10 is just too small. And you can have like a sequence of lucky runs. So preferably you would do 100 runs. But man, that takes so much time to do 100 runs. So yeah, gonna do another set of 10. Check how it is. Maybe then 1 more. And then see how it goes. And then I'm thinking about changing some teams. So waiting for that one. So yeah, this happened. Well, we got a nice spinning circle over there. But yeah, apparently it also fails from time to time. They don't want to exclude that in the video, but it's not a 100% run. It can go that derpy and then on the waves and then you just die. So mainly on the crystals, can get a little wonky. So what could you do to improve that? Make Lucian faster, but the issue is if you do more violence, then the Lucian tick rate is not high enough to actually catch up with the other units or the other towers. Would it be like that? Maybe. So I would have to make a Lucian faster than it's currently to get a higher success rate, I think. Yeah, I think so. Because I noticed that actually the golems move before the Lucian. Well, for so far, just gonna go for this one again. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, whoa, so that did some tricks, boys. Throwing everything on Vile. Could have been like just a lucky call, but damn, this is... I'm gonna retest this just because this number is actually really crazy for Giant Speed 12. So let's try it again, everything Vile, but I'm gonna switch up one thing. If I can make Lucian even faster and still one-shot. Well, I have a whole bunch of fight sets, so I think I might be able to if I just throw in a... So it took me a bit, but upgraded the Lucian a bit that he is strong enough and fast enough, so he probably takes the double wave. This is something most people cannot reproduce, but whatever. Gonna see another... I think I'll do 2 more of 10 before I actually start switching up the team. So back with another 10. 35 seconds, which is pretty good. Pretty good. So it's a lot better to keep them violent. I do have to say though, I had like 2 fills in between, so this team does fail. If the team goes completely, then yes, it does fail. So keep that in mind, but my other team also did that from time to time. The only issue is, with the other team, if the crystals didn't die, then Crow, Lauren, even Yen, they would have killed the side crystals at some point easier. This team, however, doesn't. So that in mind, I think this team is more likely to fail in scenarios like this, where they go like complete derp, sure Lucian still, but if you would derp a second time there is a decent chance for a fail. So keep that in mind. So I'm gonna do another 10 of this and then I'm gonna switch up the team. So we're back at a 10 and we got 43, so it's actually quite a slow down compared to the other one. So gonna do one more quick run and then I'll start switching runes. I think I said that for the last 3 times right now. But for me, every time it's like what, 8 minutes in between like runs, or like 7 minutes in between runs. For you is like 3 seconds because I cut all of these videos. So yep, let's check it out one more time. And then I'm gonna switch up things to see if it's actually that good, because there's just so much potential derp rate and there's so many things that can speed up or slow down a run. So the average of 10 doesn't mean shit. Like I need like an average of 100 to be actual like consistently with the times and that kind of stuff. So, but I'm not gonna do 100 runs for like all of them because there's like 1 hour 10 per like different team I want to do. I could do it at some point, but for now, just gonna keep it simple, like 2 or 3 times a 10 and that's fine. Okay, so we're back at 10, so it seems to be close to like the 35 average than the 40 plus average. So that's a good increase of my old team already. So let's see if we can push it to the next step. Okay, so for the first one up, I'm removing one Mellia and I put in Yen. Yen moves before the Mellia, so she can actually provide dots. I have it on slot 6 accuracy, so she has the most potential to apply dots. I do miss some crit rate, so she's not always gonna crit, but it's close enough on the middle stages. And this might potential also make it safer that she would kill like side crystals when needed. Currently, she's on rage. I'm not sure if Via would be better on her as well. Potentially yes, but we will see. So turn order would be this currently. Let's see a run and then let's wait until like a set of 10. So let's see how... I haven't seen how this worked out yet, so let's see how this works out. 2 dots. She has built-in Vio, so it's not a must that she actually that she is on Vio, and the extra damage can actually help out here and there, I guess. Oh, double resist from the Mellia, that's pretty shit. I'm also not sure what her AI is, because Mellia actually dots on every skill, whereas Yen, of course, only dots on the skill she's like her S2. So that's a bit worse in that case. So let's check one more run, and then we're gonna wait for like an average of 10 to see if this is better than double Mellia or not. Which I'm not sure about. At first I thought this would be a lot better. I think this is better to get your fastest time. But I don't think this would be better to for like an average time. Because if she derps, there's no dots, and that's a big issue. And that's the thing what you want to mitigate the most. Like, you want to mitigate all the chances of not landing dots where dots should be at. Because the biggest issue is still Lucian using his wrong skill at the wrong time. Also here there's no AoE dots, so that is kind of shit. She does focus fires on wind units, which is pretty bad as well. She does have some kill potential though. But again, no S2, no dots, so that's worse. But Mellia dotted and procced, so okay, let's just watch an average of 10. I'm not sure. I think double Mellia actually looks better. I thought this would have been better, but now that I see it running with Yen derping, it's maybe not as good as I thought. Okay, so we're back with a 10, and as I expected, it is slower. It's a little bit slower than my time of the first few runs that I did with without them on Vio. Thing is, however, it does feel safer because she actually, if you have issues with killing the final boss, she pushes back the final boss and that kind of stuff. So that feels safer, but she has a really high derp rate. So I'm gonna do one more run, but probably that's it. So we're back with a best of 10, or we're back with a 10. I did have some fails in between. I had to restart the run a few times. So it is actually also slower than the Mellia, like the double Mellia. So Yen is not better in this whatsoever. There could be a few other units that could be better, but I think the Mellia is actually better. There is one thing though that I still want to test, which might be better than all of this. And then one final thing is, you people know me. I gotta try to Juliet, right? I gotta try to Juliet, so B12, Julie. So, let's see. I took a few units that have triple fight already, so potentially you could go triple fight on everything. I could get away with that. So yeah, I got a lot of damage on this Julie. This Julie is super legit. Then we got a lot of like extra damage on this kind of jazz, that kind of jazz. So let's see if we can actually one-shot the wave with this. Pause the video, put it in the comments if you think I can. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. We just hit the side crystals. Let's see. No, that's apparently not gonna happen. That is apparently not gonna happen. Even triple fight anything, this is not gonna happen. I could add an attack lead in there. This is not gonna happen. So, yep. That was fun to try. So, one more addition. I already recorded like all of the video like yesterday and that kind of stuff. Already edited yesterday, and then I talked with some guildies and they said like, oh, so this is the meta. You should use this. I'm like, wait, what is that better? Would that be better? Apparently from, well, let's say the French community, it was shown on the channel from Seiishizo. They use a Swift Mellia. That apparently should work better. Because if you use the Swift Mellia, it can lap the Tatu, so you have an extra dot potential in front of that. So it's like, wow, that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds promising. That sounds interesting. Then I started testing it, and I did some runs, and I got like way slower scores. Like I was like the other one, the 4 times violent, had like 35-second average. And I was doing this and it got like 42-second average. I do have to say it was more consistent though. But I also changed a little bit for consistency, because if you don't need fight runes, you can use shield runes, which makes it more consistent. Also, I 6-starred my Mellia, so sometimes you have some runs that would have failed, are just somewhat longer now, but they are still succeeding. So that helps out quite some. But then I was like, okay, so the Swift, one Mellia on Swift would be better. So I tried that and it actually was not. And I'm gonna explain you why it's not better, because in a sense it makes really, it kind of makes sense, but there's an issue to it. The issue is you cannot outspeed the Tatu if Mellia does S2. There's no way possible. They showcased it with like a plus 190 Mellia. I have a plus, where that, 203 Mellia, and this one does not outspeed Tatu if she uses her S2. The thing is, S1 actually absorbs attack bar, and therefore you can outspeed the Mellia. So let's see, she uses S1, so in this case she would outspeed the Tatu. She doesn't even outspeed the Tatu because she didn't like perform the pushback well enough. Well, they also use a Tatu on double will, which I don't think is any better. I also show for like the numbers, it doesn't show any better. So issue with this team is a few things. Oh wait, we're gonna see like the end result in a second. Okay, so this is an average of 10. It's probably 42, 43 seconds. Maybe even slower. 1 minute. Wait, this is still like normally runed up as shit. Well, this was a really derpy run. But this is exactly the same setup and thing that I used before with their like idea behind it with Mellia moving like first and that kind of stuff. So let me grab a quick Excel and explain to you why this team is worse. Okay, this is kind of flashing every time I type or something. That's a little bit annoying, but so I'll just write it out and then I'll just show you. So this is what the turn order looks like for their scenario. So Mellia moves first, Lucian moves, Sath moves, Mellia moves again, and then the first Mellia moves again. So the second Mellia is this, and then the first Mellia moves. So in this case, you would have like we have for dots, what you would have is like one, two more, so that's 4, and then another 2 more. So in total, you have the potential of getting. Well, this Sath is 1 or 2, but it's mostly 1 actually because he glance. Okay, so technically you would have 7 dots, so you have some potential like resisted dots, and it works better. However, this only happens that this Mellia moves here on a 50-50 rate if she actually uses S1, probably even less because her S2 probably has a higher rate of working or like putting out than her S1. Because if she uses her S2, there is no way that you're lapping your Tatu, because your Tatu actually has to tap off 169 speed on a wait, is it 169? Yeah, I think it's 169, because you have to outspeed the middle boss. Sure, you could say like, oh, I have will runes, so I don't have to outspeed, but then you're wasting another animation and your team is even slower again. Also, with this team, you are using a Mellia in every first turn, which is wasting a Lucian like that could straight up amputation magic. So you're wasting more animations there as well. Also, for what I've noticed, I think Lucian AI is worse if he's not moving first. But it could be just bias me, but that's what I feel like. I feel like he's doing a lot more S2 or random shit if he's not moving first. So what is the issue that you actually have with this team? If this Mellia doesn't move, you have one or two, and you need 5 to kill. So if she uses S2, you actually only have 5 to kill. On the best scenario, Sath is mostly hitting 1, not 2. In this scenario, you have 1, and therefore Mellia both land 2. Because a Mellia only does the double dot if there is already a dot. If Mellia moves first, she's never gonna do a double dot. So in this case, you already have the 5 dots if the set just lands 1. Sure, one of those 5 can be resisted and therefore you have a derp as well, but all 3 of them are violent. So you actually have a 22% times 3 chance to to figure that out for that kind of derp as well. Sure, it doesn't happen always, but it's a way more consistent run than this run is. So for the people that want to use a speed Mellia, I do not recommend it. I think the triple or the quadruple violent is way better. Also, the run is a little bit less consistent because the speed Mellia actually pushes back like the waves and that kind of stuff, and that makes it more consistent, that makes it more easier to run. However, you're gonna need like a 190 speed set that not everyone is gonna have available for that. How to make this team actually more consistent as well is simply removing fight runes for shield runes. If you add in more shield runes, you're more likely to survive. Also, if your Mellia are 6-star and that kind of stuff, just go like high tanky build. I actually had like terrible runes on it. If you go actually proper like tanky runes on it, artifacts, I didn't have artifacts on 2 units, you will actually survive a lot more hits and it's gonna be a lot easier. For artifacts, you kind of just want to do reduce damage for like just more tanky stuff, reduce damage from water, that kind of stuff. Pretty easy. So I highly recommend to go for this build and not go for the speed build. And we're ending a run right now, and I'm gonna show you why it is worse. I already showed you the, well, this is a super derpy run. Maybe my team is just super derping right now. This is gonna be so slow. But that's just what I wanted to put out at the end of the video. The Swift one is terrible. The Swift one legit is, like, the Swift setup is legit terrible. It doesn't work, like 55 seconds. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Okay, so final verdict for this video. Yes, this team is faster, the dot team is faster. However, it's only faster if you actually use everything on violent. So I'm gonna 6-star these units at some point, just increasing like the win rate by a little bit, because if they survive more, it's better. You can throw artifacts on and that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely 6-star them. Lucian definitely has to be like a decent fast Lucian. I noticed that having this fast Lucian that can one-shot is not really necessary. It doesn't change that much. Just having like the 100 speed Lucian that I had before was good enough for that as well. You're gonna have some fails here and there. This team is a bit derpy. That is gonna happen. But any Giants team is probably kind of derpy if it's that fast. So, verdict, yes, this team is faster. So, if you like this video, please like this video actually. Subscribe to the channel. This video took me a long time to make because there's so many like teams going through and that kind of jazz. So still happy I did it, just to show you guys, okay, is this actually faster, is this better, is this not better? Because I think a lot of you people that have fast teams out there are thinking like, okay, should I waste like 210 dimensional hall energy on this or not? So if you want to farm a lot of Giants on a speed team, the answer is yes, it is better. Tomorrow gonna do DB12, or tomorrow at least, like later this week, gonna do DB12. Then I'm gonna do SF10, and I'm gonna do PC10 as well. Comparing to my other teams, of course, I'll put like my other teams in the description down below as well for those respective videos. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next few videos, and they're gonna be some good stuff, and see you later.